everyone, and Happy New Year. This is Kelly Cahoot and I am back with a video for honeybee stamps. Today using my cute little beehive card dies to create this cute little winter hat. You know how I love to get more use out of my stamps and dies, and so I got a wild hair and just thought I would try to make this die set into a little hat. I had small little pom-poms, as you can see there, so I had my daughter sew those together to join them together to make a bigger one, and I cut all the pieces out with those dies. I did add some texture to that blue cardstock with an embossing folder that I have that's like woven, it looks like woven material, and then for the white or the little fluffy part on the bottom of the hat or the band that goes around the bottom, I used a little dotted embossing folder, and I'm trying to get just the right size or part to go there for the band of the hat. Now I thought that this, using the stencils, was just a little too small, so I had to come up with something different. You're kind of seeing my trial and error here of how I created the little hat. So I decided to use the actual base part of what's going to be the hat, or what is the Hive die set, to create the band around that hat. And then I used the curve along the one part that I cut from the stencil because I knew that would be perfect, and it went exactly right. Just cut those out. And this one that I made just a little bit thicker because I penciled it exactly where I wanted it to hit on the base part of that hat. So I just fussy cut that out, make sure that the edges are nice and rounded. And it doesn't have to be perfect because it is going to be like a textured woven hat, but that I liked a lot better. That is really starting to look like a winter hat, or like a beanie or something like that, with a cute little pom-pom in the back. I started out with a white card base cut from that card die, and I changed my mind. I thought that was a little too much white, and so I picked some really soft gray cardstock, and that was just enough to change it up just a little bit, so it just wasn't all white back there with the pom-pom and with the base of the hat, or the little band around the hat. I used some foam tape to pop up my little band part there, and just some adhesive, an adhesive gun to lay down the little woven hat part. And then using some felt, you can use any kind of felt. I did have some really nice wool felt on hand because my daughter and I made Christmas ornaments, so I just took a little bit of pink. I thought that went really well with the light blue of the little hat, and I am just cutting out a simple heart. It was a little too fat, so I'm trimming that down just a little bit, and to get it just right. So I am going to use that, and I am going to take the You Warm My Heart from the Let It Snow stamp set. Now this stamp set does have cornaying dies. I do not have those. I may need to add those to my collection because I keep pulling out that sweet little snowman and some of these winter greetings. But I am going to put that in my mini MISTI with some really heavyweight vellum, and I'm going to try two different kinds of sparkly embossing powder, both from WOW, and I'll have those colors listed below. One is like a really silvery glitter, and the other is a white glitter, and I'm not sure at this point which one will turn out the best. And so I stamped up one end of that vellum, and then I'm just going to flip it over, put it right back into my mini MISTI, and stamp that one more time. I did treat that vellum because the vellum is super staticky and sticky with some anti-static powder. And then for this end, like I said, I'm going to use that white glittery embossing powder. And then I'm going to heat set these with a heat tool. Now, I made sure that my heat gun was super hot before I took it to the vellum, and I started out on the back side of the vellum to heat that first. I have not had very good luck with that glittery embossing powder, but I found that if you heat it from the back and that glitter kind of sticks into that powder, it works a lot better. So I decided to go with the silver glittery powder. It just looked a lot better on with that gray card base, and also it was just too much white for the little band of the hat there. I'm going to fussy cut out this little greeting. There are dies that cut around this greeting, but I'm just going to take my scissors and give that a little cutout. Now I did use a little bit of foam tape on this because of that heart. I wanted the first part of the greeting to be popped up over the top of that heart, so I needed something to raise up that end of the greeting, and I used just a little tad of foam tape right behind the M on warm, and you couldn't see it with it being white foam tape and then white cardstock underneath. So it kind of worked out in my favor. I don't know that you could pull off that trick with vellum on a different colored cardstock. Probably not, because with it being white on white. So I kind of lucked out there. I am going to decorate the inside of this card with a thanks, and that is from that cute little stamp set that was a collaboration between Honeybee and Simon Says Stamp that came out during Stamp Timber. And I love this thanks, and I heat embossed that with that same silver glittery embossing powder. Now, this is like one of those don't do what I did things. I was trying to just kind of clean off any excess powder, and I stuck my finger right in the top of the A and smeared it just a little bit. No worries, we have to go on. I just worked with it. So I stamped one of those cute little snowbirds with a little hat that looks just like the hat on the card. Here's me trying to fix my poor little A there. I just left that in because I'm sure all of us have done exactly the same thing. But that's cute little snowbird in there, and I just did a tone on tone with the exact same color of ink as that gray cardstock. Here's a close-up look of my beehive slash winter hat, and I hope this inspires you guys to use your stamps and dies in other ways than maybe what they're intended. I hope you guys had a fabulous new year and have a wonderful 2018, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye-bye.